Don't forget to subscribe to Panda Outdoors. Do it now.
Okay, folks, I don't know if you can hear in the background the Nissan. We've just got the Nissan running now to warm it up. What we're doing on this episode is a bit of maintenance. So we're going to go over how to change the oil. The oil and the oil filter and the air filter on the Nissan Terrano. So what you want to do is you want to warm the vehicle up. The warmer the oil, the better it is. It'll come out and it'll bring more of the crap and stuff like that out with it. So you get the oil nice and warm, so it thins down, and then we're going to drop it. So we have ordered a full service kit as well from General Traffic, I think it was. So we've got air filter. I think that's the fuel filter, but we're going to do that in a separate video. There's the oil filter, just there, and we got 10 litres of oil. Okay, I think the Terrano takes 7 litres of oil, but it was cheaper to get 10. That service kit was around about £80. You can get cheaper service kits, but that's from a proper motor factors, and we know it's going to be right. eBay, Amazon, stuff like that, you'll probably get cheaper kits on there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll bring you back in a second, and I'll show you where the sump nut is and how to get to the oil filter. Then we'll bring you back when we're doing it. Again, this will just be another quick video of us doing it. Hopefully it helps as well. I'm going to do some videos on my prepper side of things if you're enjoying the vehicle maintenance stuff, how to put a spare wheel on, how to check your oil, how to check your waters and stuff like that for young drivers who don't know what to do on my prepper side of things, because I do think you should understand at least the basics of a vehicle, where to put the water, where to top your washers up for your windscreen, and how to top your oil up. And again, how to put a spare wheel on. So I will do that, and I'll use the family car instead of a 4x4, so it's a little bit more realistic on a prepper side of things. So if you're into your prepping stuff, not just your four-wheel driving, stay tuned for them. Okay, Brownie's there just checking another mod that we're going to be fitting a steering dampener. He's just checking how it fits. Okay, so I'll bring you back in a second. Okay, so now what you're going to do is, if you see, there's the sump. So the sump's here, and then it comes down and drops down. And then what you're going to need is either a 14mm socket or a 14mm spanner. We've just got a 14mm spanner. Okay, what I will do, I will put a list of all the tools and I'll lay them out of what you need to do this job. Okay, and then a nice bucket that'll take the oil. All you do is crack it off, take the sump nut out, and let the oil drain into the bucket. So what we're going to do, we're going to set it all up now, put a bucket underneath, and then crack the oil. Bring this back in a second. Okay, so what you want to do is remove the oil cap as well. Just helps with the flow of the oil when you're draining it. And what I like to do is just pull a dipstick out. Don't worry about it. Just lay it on the top. Okay, I just pull the dipstick out just to make life a little bit easier when you come to do it. Boom. And then again, Brownie is on the tools for this video. I am the cameraman. Okay, so as you can see, we've just got a bucket. That is a proper draining thing, but it's a nightmare. So we're just putting a bucket in, which makes it easier. Again, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So you just crack it off to the left, few turns. And then what you want to do, you want to hold, as you're unscrewing it, hold the sump nut in. I'll try and get a better view of that. Hold the sump nut in so you don't get covered in oil. But it's one of them jobs where you get covered in oil all the time. And try not to drop the nut into the bucket. Otherwise you'll be fishing it out with a bin bag over your hands, which I've had to do before. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. Will he fuck it up and get covered in oil? Boom. And then just put the sump nuts on the side of the lift or the floor or wherever you're doing it. And then, so it's safe. And that wasn't bad, only a tiny little bit of oil. Not bad. Definitely wear gloves for this job. And then again, just leave it till it all drains out. We'll bring you back once it's all drained because no one wants to watch that. Okay, so come on there. Okay, so as you can see, we've moved the oil drain and stuff like that. Now, again, just nip it up. Don't need to swing on it, but just make sure it's nice and tight so it doesn't come undone. Just like that. Okay, just like that. A little bit tighter than that. Obviously, Brownie thinks he's really strong with one finger, but yeah, just a good little tighten with your hand. And perfect. Just as tight as that. Again, there will be a torque setting for it, but we're not using it. If you want to use the correct torque settings, as I say, just Google it and it'll bring it up for you. If I can find the torque setting, I'll put it up. What we're going to do now, we're just going to lower it down, get a bucket in between the wishbone and the ramp, and we're going to take the oil filter off. So as you can see, sorry, just there, where Brownie's pointing to now, that is the oil filter. So the easiest way to get at it is through the side. Okay, so on this case, lift up the rubber protection or whatever, rubber shit guard, and that's how you get at your oil filter. So a couple of tools that you're going to need for this is either a strap to go around it. This one I made many moons ago when I was doing my apprenticeship in mechanics. So this is a block of aluminium, threaded, tapped and dieted, a thread into it, with just I think it's a 19mm bolt on the end, and again with a braided material. So something like that, or an old-fashioned chain. You can get like handle ones that I'm going to get as well, but something like that will do it. I'll just go and get the other one to show you now. Or I think these are called oil filter spanners or something like that, oil filter ratchet. So you put it on, and as you're tightening it, it just locks up onto it, so you can undo it. Something like that. So that's what we're going to be using to do it. Okay, so we've had a bit of a reposition. As you can see, it's a lot easier to get to from the top, as long as you unconnect the air pipe. Okay, just slow and steady and you'll get it off. Eventually, once after a couple of turns, it will just go hand tight. I'll bring you back in a second when we're just unscrewing it off by hand. Right. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see now, it's just hand tight. So you've got to use the tool, give it a bit awkward to get on, not gonna lie, because you get jammed on the cross member. So just loads of little turns until it goes loose, and then it is literally just hand tight, just unscrew it off. Make sure you put the bucket underneath. And then just, you will get covered in oil doing this bit. If anyone can do it without getting covered in oil, I'd take my hat off to you.
It's slippery.
And a case of just unscrewing it until it comes off. I'll bring it back when we're putting the new one on. Okay, so here's the new filter that we're going to put on. To be fair, the oil change, the oil hasn't even done about 5,000 miles, but Brownie wanted to just give it a good service. So what you want to do, see this rubber seal on the top? All you're going to do is give this a little rub around with some oil off the old filter, so when you tighten it up, it makes a nice seal. If you don't do that, sometimes the oil filter can leak. When you're putting it back on, you won't need the tool. All you've got to do is just do it hand tight to get it on. Okay, so as you can see, there's the old oil filter. It was a lot cleaner than that before it got covered in oil. So all Brownie's going to do now is rub his finger around the top to get some oil on it, and then just rub it around the seal so it goes on nice and easy. When you're putting it on, be mindful that you don't cross thread the threads inside, so you don't manage to cross thread them inside, so be mindful of that as you're screwing it on. So what happens to your hands when you get oil on them, mate?
You get oily.
And they go dead slippy. What oil's meant to do?
Lubricants.
Special. It's what happens when you drink paint.
From the man who never gets his hands dirty.
Supervisor material, mate. Supervisor material.
Supervisor.
Save my time.
Supervisor.
Okay, so again,
There's a quick mop up in here as well, actually.
gonna go in from the top to get it on, and then he'll just change position to get a better grip from the side. But you can see where it goes in a lot easier there. Okay, so while Brian is just giving the area a quick clean, getting rid of the oil, I hope this video's been helpful. Again, we're not mechanics, I'm a tyre fitter. Brian is a manager in a security firm, but we're learning, we're trying, and as I said on previous videos, you need to get to know your vehicle. So if you ever had to do a bush bodge up, you know where to look and you know what you're doing. Okay, and an oil change, it's something you can do and it will save you money. As long as when you take something off, you put it on tight enough and you put the correct oil back in. Okay, so I'll just get Brownie now screwing this back in hand tight. As I say, it doesn't have to be swung on, just hand tight, so it's not gonna leak. Okay, so Brownie's got it on now, so he's just swapped position so we can video it. And all he's gonna do now, just tighten it up by hand. Probably won't get it as tight as Brownie because he's a big man mountain, but as I say, as long as it's nipped up tight, that oil will do its job and it'll seal it in place for you. Just like that, nice and tight, okay? And then what we're going to do now is we're going to top the oil up, start the engine, and then re-dip the oil once the oil filter's full, just to make sure you've got the correct level. So we'll bring you back for that. Okay, so before we put the oil in, we might as well, because we've already took the air box off, is put the air filter back in. Okay, so as you can see, the air box is just there. So all it is 5 clips all the way around that just clip over it. You just flick them off and then you can wiggle the air box off. If you wanted to, you could disconnect that plug, but we've just left it on and moved it to the side. Then all you do then is literally just slide the air filter out. As you can see, the air filter is still quite new and quite clean. It is sucked in a little bit on itself where we were testing. If you can see, it's just sucked in on itself a little bit where we were testing how good of a seal the snorkel had. But that is still fairly a new air filter. But you put it next to the new one, it's not too bad. But that is the new air filter. So again, all you do, you pop that in. You pop that in other way around. Okay, so as you can see, oh no, different on that one. Yeah, it's universal, goes in anyway. I thought it had that lip, but it hasn't. So what I'll do is I'll flip the camera around now and I'll bring you back. All you do is you pop it in and it will locate into a little seat. Just in there, so it sits in just like that. Then all you do now is push it back and work the lid of the airbox back over. And then literally just flick the catches back over and it locks it all.
These ones?
Yeah.
So not, yeah. Maybe not.
And it does literally just lock it all into place. Just like that. And there should be one just on the side there.
This one is a bit.
There you go. Okay, so that's all done. So that is the air filter changed. So now we're going to move on to putting the oil into the vehicle. Okay, so it's going to take at least a full 5 litre drum. So we've just got a funnel just to make life a little bit easier. But as I say, pour it in into the filler cap that we took off earlier on, that was just there. So as you can see on the front of the filler cap, there is a little oil cannon, so you know which one to fill up. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll bring you back in a second when we're dipping the oil to see how much is in it, so you know how much more oil you need to put in. Okay, so what we're doing now, we're just going to dip the oil. We've put 6.5 litres in, so what we're going to do now is just dip the oil. We're going to pull the dipstick back out, we've already wiped it. Okay, and we're just going to check the level. So, okay, so that's about right. It's bang on the money there. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to All we're going to do now is start it up and then see how much oil we need to add to fill up the oil filter. Okay, so now all we're going to do is just start it up, let it run for a sec, make sure the oil light doesn't come on, check for any leaks, and then what we're going to do then is re-dip it and see if we have to add any more oil. So always check when it's on, when you're working on a vehicle, it's out of gear. So as you could see then, as I just shown you, the oil light was not on, it went off straight away. So now we'll just re-dip the oil. So Brian's just wiping the dipstick now, I'm going to put it back in. Let's have a look. So yeah, looks like we need about half a litre to put in just to take it up to the maximum. Okay, so just half a litre is what we need. So again, just like the process before, use the funnel, put half a litre in, and jobs are good 'un. Okay folks, so that was just another episode on the Terrano build and the updates. So all we done then was an oil filter change, filter change, and an air filter change. We haven't done a fuel filter because it was done not so long ago. We do have one, so when we change that in a couple of months, we'll do a video on that as well, but there's no point replacing it when that one only got done a couple of months back. So on this video, we showed you how to, where the sump nut is, what size it is, how to get the filter off. Getting the filter off, it was hard to film it. I hope the camera angles were okay and you understood what we were on about. But again, this is another job you can do on your own, especially if your truck's lifted. You could do this on your driveway or on your front garden or whatever. With the oil, make sure you dispose of it correctly. So put it in a container, then put it back in the old the container you got the oil in, and take it to your local waste disposal. They will take the oil off you. Don't just pour it down the drain or throw it in your wheelie bin. Dispose of it correctly. I don't think they charge you in your local waste disposal places anyway, so make sure you do it proper. Again, I hope you're enjoying these videos. As you've seen, Brani was on the tools again. My young Padawan.
Sweating.
It got a little bit hot doing that filter, we're not going to lie.
Just hard to get a grip.
If you've got big man hands like his, it's hard to get in.
Normal size hands.
You need hands like an action man doll to get your hands in to do it. Little tiny hands, but I have sausage fingers, so I don't get the reach and they get stuck. So again, I hope you've enjoyed the video on the Terrano build. Hopefully me and Brani are going to start doing the build videos together. It's a lot easier than trying to film them on your own. So either Brani will be the cameraman, I'll be working, or Brani will be working and I'm the cameraman. Again, we've still got the Land Rover to do and stuff on that, so I'll show you how to service the Land Rover as well. I'll probably show you as well on the Mitsubishi. For anyone who watches my video, I've got the Jap stuff, but the Mitsubishi will probably be very similar to the Terrano, I'm not gonna lie. But again, I hope you've enjoyed these videos. Thanks for watching. Other videos to come on Nissan is the bumper going on. You've got the lights getting fitted, lights wired up, bumper fitted,
rock sliders,
and the rock sliders will be going on. We won't get a chance to video the rock sliders getting on because it'll be a welder that's coming out to do that. But once we do the bumper, we'll give you the tour of the rock sliders, and it'll all be ready to take out on the meet that we're going to, the Bug Out Vehicles UK Patreon, because me and Brani are both patrons. So I'll be taking the Disco, Brani will be taking the Terrano, and it should be a good weekend. So stay tuned, we've got loads of good videos coming out. Again, it's a bit hard getting out camping at the minute with me just having kids, but what I'm going to try and do, if Brani goes out camping with Andy, I'll get them to take as much videos and clips, and I'll just put them together in a little snippet, and I'll put little videos out for you. Again, it's just as much as it is my channel, as it is Brani and Andy's. They're in all the videos, and they come along for the ride. So again, I hope you liked the video. Stay prepared, and I'll catch you outdoors sometime. Take care now.